Welcome back to another Innovative Hobby Supply video. I'm AJ, your instructor, and today we're going to be assembling the 1/64 Sammy's Restaurant Building Kit. The 1/64 scale Sammy's Restaurant Model Kit is the perfect addition to any model diorama, slot car track, or train layout. It comes with 7 sheets, landscape moss, 3 model people, and 1 black straw. You can find this kit in the matching written instructions on our website linked below. Also, make sure to check out Sammy's full story at mysammys.com. One of the most important skills to learn while building your photoreal innovative hobby supply model is scoring. Scoring is a very simple technique and involves using a straight edge and a hobby knife to break the surface tension so that the flex stock will bend on or without a desk edge clean. As you can see, I've made a practice piece to show you how it's done. Simply line up the straight edge along the line and gently press the hobby knife down on the flex stock. Once done, fold. This technique allows you to make a flat, ordinary piece of flex stock into something more intricate and 3D. Today we'll be using the standard equipment for this model: watercolor markers, a hobby knife, scissors, a ruler, and a hot glue gun. So let's get started. The very first step is to carefully cut around the art that's included in the kit with a good pair of scissors, including the smaller items. For the roof, carefully cut around the art, including the small white indent shown below. For page 6, cut around the parking add-ons. And lastly, for the base, cut the white outer edges off. After cutting everything out, let's start prepping the front wall. Grab the front bump out wall and score the white line where my finger is tracing, including the other side. After scoring those 2 lines, score the white line between the wall and the glue tab with a hobby knife and a ruler. Once all the white lines are scored, fold the sides 90 degrees inwards, including the glue tabs. Then grab a corresponding watercolor marker and carefully touch up the white scored areas. An important thing to remember is that real buildings don't have any white gaps in the seams, so by touching up the scored folded edges, you're adding lots of realism and detail. The next step is to open the front wall's door. This step is optional, but I highly recommend this step as it will elevate the building's realism. To open the door, we want to score the side where the door hinges are, exactly where my finger traces. Then we want to cut where the door opens and the top of the door with a hobby knife and a ruler. As a hobbyist, I always appreciate when model kits have an illusion room through doors because it makes me feel like I can enter into a tiny world. Once the door is cut and scored, it should be able to open like this. Then touch up any white areas around the open door with a gray watercolor marker. As you can see, the front bump out wall goes here. But because we need room behind the front bump out wall for the illusion room later, we need to cut out the section here on the front wall with scissors and a hobby knife. Once the small section is cut out, throw it away. Now it's time to glue the front wall along the front side of the base. Follow the white line when gluing the wall. Place a small amount of hot glue behind the wall. Hold 90 degrees upwards from the base until completely dried. Avoid putting glue too close to the outer edges as it would later interfere with the side walls. I highly recommend gluing one side at a time to avoid any unevenness. Glue the other side once one side is dried. Next, let's apply the front bump out wall onto the front wall. We want to line up the bump out wall exactly here on both sides of the front wall. Get a feel of where to place the bump out wall before gluing. Once you feel confident where to place it, place hot glue on only one of the glue tabs, place evenly and hold until dry. Once one side is dried, place glue onto the other glue tab and then carefully line up with the front wall. Hold until dry. This is what it should look like once the front bump out wall is applied. After, grab the front wall illusion room. Lightly score these 2 white lines with a hobby knife and a ruler. Then gently fold the sides slightly inwards. Use a gray marker to touch up any white areas. Then place the small amount of hot glue along the sides of the illusion room and place it right behind the front wall's open section we cut out earlier. Hold until dry. Flip the front wall so it's facing you and see the very realistic detail up close. Now grab the left and right side walls. Score the white lines between the glue tabs and the wall with the hobby knife. Fold the glue tabs 90 degrees inwards, then touch up any white lines with the corresponding watercolor marker. Repeat these steps for both of the side walls. Then prep the rest of the bump out walls just like how we prepped the front bump out wall. Score the white lines in the glue tabs, fold, then touch up any white areas with a watercolor marker. Put aside for later. Next, let's prep the right side wall. Cut where my finger traces. Use scissors to cut the sides and a hobby knife and ruler to cut the top. After the small section is cut out, throw it away. Place glue onto the glue tab that's closest to the front wall on the right side wall. Line up evenly and hold until dry. After, place a small amount of hot glue behind the wall to make it secure against the base. Once the right side wall is applied, let's open the right side bump out wall's door. Cut the middle of the door where it opens with scissors. Stop cutting up once you almost hit the top of the door. Then score the sides of the door with a hobby knife and a ruler. Then cut the top of the door with a hobby knife. The door should open like this. Use a watercolor marker to touch up any white areas. Now it's time to apply the right bump out wall to the right side wall. Line up the bump out wall with this black line I'm tracing. Glue one side at a time. Place hot glue along the glue tab. Hold until dry. This is what it should look like after applying. Next, grab the patio entrance illusion room. Lightly score the two white lines with a hobby knife and a ruler. Fold the sides slightly inwards. Use a watercolor marker to touch up any white areas. Then put a small amount of hot glue on the sides and place behind the open section on the right side wall. After, let's apply the left side wall. Place a small amount of hot glue onto the tab that's closest to the front wall. Line up evenly and hold until dry. Then place hot glue behind the wall so it's secured to the base. Then apply the left side bump out wall onto the left wall, just like how we applied the right and front bump out wall to the rest. Once the side walls are attached, let's apply the back wall. Place a small amount of hot glue onto one glue tab at a time. Line up both walls evenly together. Once dried, glue the other side. Then place a small amount of hot glue behind the back wall and line it with the base. Hold until dry. Now let's score the smaller roofs. First, score the white middle line on the front dormer with a hobby knife and a ruler, and fold. After, touch up the white line with a brown marker. Next, let's score the white middle lines on the bump out roofs. The smallest one is the front bump out roof. Fold in half and then touch up with the brown watercolor marker. Repeat these steps for all the bump out roofs. After, score the white line on all the awnings with a hobby knife and a ruler. Gently fold the gray tab downwards. Then touch up with a brown marker. Repeat these steps for all the awnings. And lastly, score the white middle line on the main roof. Carefully fold the two sides downwards on a flat surface. Then touch up the white middle line with a brown watercolor marker. Once the main roof is prepped, put it on top of the building, placing the notched part of the roof at the front of the building, so it locks in place on both sides of the front wall. After it's placed evenly, use a small amount of hot glue here to secure it in place. Hold until dry. Now grab the front dormer, place a very small amount of hot glue onto the front wall's peak, then place the dormer on top evenly like shown in the video. Hold until dry. Moving forward, grab one of the side bump out roofs, place glue onto the side wall's peak, then put the roof on top evenly. Hold until dry. Repeat the same steps when applying the other side bump out roof. Place hot glue onto the side wall's peak, then put the roof on top evenly. Let's take a small break from the roofs and apply the front wall 2D optional sign. Place hot glue onto the original sign and let dry. Then place hot glue onto the back of the sign and apply onto the original art evenly. Hold until dry. Find the other pizza and restaurant 2D sign that matches the one on the left wall. Repeat the same steps when applying the sign onto the side wall. On to the next step, let's apply the patio base add-on. As you can see, I'm sliding the add-on carefully underneath the right side bump out wall, while it lays slightly on top of the base. After it's adjusted, place a small amount of hot glue underneath it. Hold until dry. Then grab the parking lot add-on and place glue along here, so once you lay the building on top, the concrete wheel stops are close to the sidewalk. And voila, we successfully applied both of the base add-ons. For the next step, grab the signpost that's included in the kit. Cut to desired height, I recommend 1 1/4 inch high, then grab one of the takeout only signs and glue it against the top of the post. Then glue another sign behind it like shown in the video. Make however much you want, also place it anywhere you'd like, have fun with it. Even though this detail is tiny, it adds so much to the kit. Okay, back with the roofs. Grab all the awnings, place glue onto the gray tab, make sure the matching length awning is on the correct side before gluing, line them up evenly on top of the white lines located on the front and right side wall. Hold until dry. After they're dried, bend the awning slightly downwards. Collect all 6 tables in the black straw. Cut 6 pieces of 3/8 of an inch straws. Once the pieces are cut, flip over the table so the white side is facing you. Place glue in the middle, then put a piece of straw straight up from the table's bottom. After, you can add the optional red tablecloths on top of the finished tables. Repeat this step for all the tables. Then collect all the pizzas, pizza pans, and plates. Have fun with this step by creating pizza slices, placing the pizzas on the pans, layering however you like, and glue whatever you want on the tables. Here's a small example of what you could do. Is this not the coolest miniature stuff ever? Put the tables aside for later. Grab the 3 fences, the one with the gate let's prep first. Score the white middle line, fold both sides downwards. Place hot glue in between the gate, avoid putting glue where the hinges are and where the gate's open. Press down. Touch up with a brown marker. Next, score where the gate door hinges are with a hobby knife and ruler. After, cut where the gate door opens with scissors. Touch up any white areas with the brown marker. For the rest of the fences, simply score the middle white line, fold the sides downwards, and place glue in between them, then place together. Then grab all the chairs' backs and chair bases. Score all the 4 white lines on the chair bases, and the white middle line on the chair backs. For the chair backs, fold the sides downwards, place glue in the middle, and press together evenly. Use a brown marker to touch up. For the bases, fold the sides all downwards into a cube. Place glue on the inside corners of the base, hold until dry. Then use a reddish marker to touch up any white areas. Place the chair back against one of the sides of the base. Use hot glue to connect. Make however many chairs you would like for your patio. The last thing we have to score is the optional roof vent. Score all these white lines here with a hobby knife and a ruler. Fold the sides inwards together, including the top. Use hot glue to connect, then a dark gray or black marker to touch up any white areas. Once assembled, place it anywhere on the main roof's peak. Use hot glue to secure. Grab the side fence, place a small amount of hot glue underneath it, and put it evenly along the edge of the concrete here. Hold straight up from the base until dried. Then grab the back fence and glue it to the concrete edge, connected to the side fence and the building. And lastly, glue the small piece of fence to the right side bump out wall's side. After, glue the front gate to the side fence and base. Once the patio fence are put together, place the tables and chairs anywhere you'd like. Have fun with the placement. After you've figured out where you want them, use hot glue to secure everything to the base. The Sammy's restaurant is a level 3 skill kit and will take approximately 2 hours to complete. Once this model is assembled, it's plenty rugged and will give any hobbyist many years of enjoyment to display on dioramas such as 1/64 HO train sets, Hot Wheels displays, slot car tracks, or just for your shelf. If you live in Minnesota, make sure to check out mysammys.com for their full story and their 16 different locations. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe down below. And if you have further questions about the kit that we just assembled, check out our website, innovativehobbysupply.com.